Green Lantern in 3D. Now, the 3D here is similar to the tone of this movie. It's all over the place. Some shots are good, good as anything you'd see today. Other shots, the depth is barely noticeable. And there's some very weird in between. Now, the jet plane sequence is a lot of fun in 3D. I've often noticed a clear blue sky doesn't provide a very good canvas for 3D, but in this plane chase, it kept close to the ground and mixes in with the clouds. They do well separating the clouds, and that in turn gives a nice reference to track the plane's depth. Really enjoyed that moment. And to dwell on the good 3D for a moment, it seems the good is largely reserved for when there's little to no CGI present. It made me wonder if they filmed some shots in 3D if they didn't need to do any post. The shots where they're talking around the house have great stereo, yet when we cut to anything with action, it becomes very shallow with occasional bits that push out a little. And it's okay, it works all right. The movie is a bit dark overall, which 3D tends to disappear in the dark, so when it's shallow, it might as well not be there at all. Now, I do love the look of the CGI in this movie. I felt they nailed the look of the comic book characters very well. Before I watched this in theaters, my friend, who was very excited for this release, showed me a cartoon movie called Green Lantern First Flight. And that cartoon tells the same story, better, and almost half the time. The cartoon was terrific. And I wonder, though, if seeing that cartoon before watching this maybe ruined this movie for me. This version just did not come close to how entertaining that cartoon was. As I recall, when I saw this in the theater, I was preoccupied with waiting for the Lantern team to meet. Their interactions were what made the cartoon so enjoyable. Very much like, I don't know, Fantastic Four or Guardians of the Galaxy might be a better example. The superhero group was a lot of fun to watch. Unfortunately, and I wonder if it had to do with the cost of animating the CGI, at that time, that team largely just makes a bit of a cameo in this movie, which is too bad, especially that they nailed the look of them so well. They look good, but just never got involved in the movie. The movie, it removed that team banter, and I guess they're trying to go for the lone wolf superhero struggling with his emotions about this new thing. But kind of like an early beta version of Deadpool. But I just didn't feel Ryan Reynolds sold the emotion. Maybe I'm too accustomed to him being a smartass that I can't feel him when he's having, a real moment. Now, coming back to the 3D, occasionally you see light being used to kind of add more 3D effect to a shot than there otherwise is. Now, although it works, it feels like trick 3D because it's perfect light flares against a flat background. And there are many missed opportunities for wow moments like these pillars on this planet. And there are a surprising amount of CGI shots that are nearly flat. One thing you often see is people in the foreground against a nearly flat background. It actually makes the CGI look silly. It feels like an old-fashioned rear projection shot that you might expect from a pre-computer world. It looks like a joke, but it isn't. During these moments, the 3D actually diminishes the CGI. It's a funny experience. Overall, not terrible enough to completely write off, yet just doesn't quite hit the mark you'd like it to. Now, if you did watch this and enjoy it, you should actually go watch that cartoon version. I think you'll be glad you did.